That is a great song to be singing this morning, The Right Side of the Road. We welcome everybody, live stream and people in person. And we are out at Salem Road. It's a light drizzle and to no rain. Right now there's no rain at all. We're out here with the birds and each other. So we want to thank our music team who we all didn't know where we were going to be exactly this morning. So we got very flexible and set up in the pavilion. We're so happy to be here. Paula Cross, Anton, Knoll-Ruffo, and Dave LaCombe. David Hiller's behind the camera. We thank our small and powerful audience out here this morning. And for all of you at home, thank you for being with us. So we want to just take a pause. This is one of our times during the week when we pause, we listen, we settle into being available to Spirit. I'd like to read you some words from Ellen Davenport's book, The 5 Principles. This is about the 5 unity principles. And she writes about redemption. Redemption meaning to repair for the better. Redemption meaning to restore. So she writes, humans, even as violent as we sometimes seem to be, we are the first species to understand that we have the capacity to change. This means we can evolve consciously, the most exciting development so far in our brief human history. We can choose who we want to be as individuals and explore cooperate as groups, as nations. We are responsible not only for our own evolution, but how evolution continues to unfold on the planet. If we learn to cooperate as a mature species, remember the Bible refers to the mature or fully grown sons and daughters of God. So she says if we learn to cooperate as a mature species, we still won't all desire or believe the same things, but we will align our self-interest and well-being with the well-being of all others and the well-being of the earth. In other words, we will create the kingdom of heaven together. So that's the intention we want to set this morning as we take a deep breath. We are here in this time to be a helping presence and to know the ways that we can work together to create heaven on earth, the kingdom of heaven, expressing through us, as us, around us, in our world. We set intention to be the kingdom of heaven in this place, in this moment. And so it is, and so we let it be. And if you're worried about how to do that, the next song will tell us everything I need to know. The next song, everything I need to know. And take it away.
Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to behold about what lies before me. Everything I need to behold about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of everything I need to be strong about what lies before me. Everything I need to be strong about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. To the mind of God within me. Everything I need to be at peace about what lies before me. Everything I need to be at peace about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me.
Beautiful. I'm wondering what the birds are doing right now. They're probably letting all their friends know, come on, there's a free concert under the pavilion. The squirrels are all gathering around. So we want to continue with this idea, this divine idea, this powerful prayer, this proclamation that everything we need to know is available to us in this moment. Everything we need to know about what lies before us, that's available to us and within us. And we want to continue that divine idea moving around in us as we say our prayer of Jesus translated from the Aramaic. Father, Mother, Birther, and Breath of all, create a space inside of us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire that flows through ours as energy fills all form. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment and untangle the knots of air that bind us as we release others. Do not let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. From age to age, through you, flow the glorious harmonies of life. May these words be fertile statements through which our future grows. Amen, amen, and amen. Oh, I love that prayer. So now we have our daily word for today. The word is listen, and the affirmation is, in the quiet of my heart, I listen for the voice of Spirit. During the course of a busy day, I may hear all kinds of things. Conversations, music, sounds from nature, traffic noise, and even my constant self-talk. Sometimes all that I'm hearing may numb me to the more intentional act of listening. As I listen, I become aware of the voice of Spirit. Its comforting, guiding presence feels like a homecoming. As I settle into a tranquil environment and begin to relax my body and my mind, I create a welcoming space for listening to the assuring voice of Spirit, discernible as my inner knowing. I breathe deeply, and I rest in this space. I go about my day, listening attentively for the voice of Spirit expressing through all the people in my life. And from the book of Luke, blessed rather are those who hear the word of God and obey it. So we deepen into that divine idea that we, with our will, with our commitment, we say yes to listening to the voice of Spirit. And so it is. So now our next song, I Dreamed of Rain, and we're dreaming of just light rain or no rain or drizzle. It's so nice out here. It's kind of like Ireland. Light misty rain now then. So I dreamed of rain, and then we go into our meditation.
I dreamed of rain, and the rain came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain, and the rain came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed, and the green was easy, and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and the sound was easy, and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and the sound was easy, and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the fathers that are near. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land.
I dreamed of heaven, and peace spread over the land. I was asked last week to imagine a world where racism has been dismantled. I was asked to imagine a world where racism or hate, unkindness, greed has been dismantled. So we take our deep breath and another deep healing breath. I invite us all to consider, what is it we're imagining? What is it we're dreaming of? Are we dreaming that something sacred is unfolding? Are we climbing to the highest place of our hearts. Can we imagine a world where kindness is emerging more fully, justice emerging more fully? Can we imagine a world where community among our species is emerging? As we take a few moments of silence with the birds, I invite us to imagine ourselves as witnesses to a great renewal, witnesses of the sacred that is unfolding. Imagine a world where kindness and compassion and caring and wisdom has dismantled racism, hatred. Imagine that we are witnesses to a great renewal, a great unfolding of the sacred more fully within our species. Imagine. We breathe into these divine ideas, and we breathe into the divine idea that everything we need to know about how to be the helping presence, everything we need to know is available to us and within us. And we say, so it is, and so we let it be. Namaste. So how's that? Has the static stopped? Okay. There's so many things to remember with this technology. So here we are out at Salem Road, where it's not hard to feel peace. But have you ever had the experience where it was difficult to feel peace? Okay. So these words are attributed to Jesus, who said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world gives, let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." So that's our practice right now. It's our homework right now, that we let not our hearts be troubled. Let not our hearts be afraid. So what shall we let be? And that's what we're going to talk about. So a little bit of a review. Last week we talked about Unity's third principle, which is life is consciousness, and what we hold in mind, meaning our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, that's what shows up in our reality. So let's take a deep breath into this idea. Any place that we're uncomfortable about what's unfolding in the world, we're invited to understand that we as a collective, as a species, have helped to manifest what we're seeing in the world today. So it's important that we pay attention to what we're adding into the collective in terms of our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs. Again, a review, it goes right along with quantum physics, that the outcome of the experiment is impacted by the expectations of the one who's observing the experiment. So here we are, we're the great experimenters.
The Heisenberg uncertainty principle, my favorite principle.
Oh, I'm doing this just for you, Anton. The Heisenberg principle.
Uncertainty principle.
Yeah, maybe you should speak to us on Sunday on that. That's a whole talk. But the basic idea has to stay simple for me to understand it. And that is,
Like attracts like.
like attracts like. Whatever I'm expecting, I'm likely to see. So what am I expecting to unfold in the world today, these days that we're living in, these days that feel like we need Jerry Lee Lewis doing the background music, a whole lot of shaking going on. So Fillmore said, thoughts held in mind, what? Create after their kind. So what I'm holding in my mind, I'm more likely to create. Jesus again said, as we think in our hearts, that's the way we are. That out of the abundance of my heart is what my mouth speaks. And that's true for all of us. What's abundant in my heart today? What's abundant in my heart on the days when my knees are achy or my ankle hurts or I'm upset about some world event? You know, what is in the abundance of my heart? So I want to go to the highest place of my heart or go to the deepest, wisest place within my being, what we call the Christ consciousness or the Buddha consciousness or the kingdom of heaven consciousness. And that's the place I want to speak from, proclaim from, live from, feel from. Constant practice for me. I don't know about y'all, but I'm busy practicing. So last week, as we were closing the service, one of our beloveds, Patty Knapp, said, why aren't we singing Let There Be Peace? And she's right. It's not an easy song to sing without a whole congregation. It's not the easiest melody. But the message of the song is what we want. We are going to close our service today with it, Patty, so I hope you're tuning in. So today, our daily word, in the quiet of my heart, I listen for the voice of Spirit. This is what a woman did back in 1944. She listened to the voice of Spirit. Her name was Jill Jackson Miller. And the words she heard when she listened to the voice of Holy Spirit, the words were, let there be peace. She had attempted suicide. And when she didn't succeed, she really started listening to the voice of Spirit. And this is what she writes. This was actually from an NPR interview back in 1995. Jill Jackson Miller said, I knew for the first time unconditional love, which God is. God is unconditional love. For the first time, I knew I was totally loved, totally accepted, just the way I am. I had an eternal moment of truth. So let's breathe into that. An eternal moment of truth. And in that eternal moment of truth, she wrote these words. Let there be peace on earth. And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. The peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace, eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. her husband then put her words to music. And since 1955, the music has been used all over the world. Oh, use your mic, honey.
Sorry. When I was a kid at 1955 and through like 8 years of camp, and we go to service on Sundays, that was one of the songs that we sang from way back then up now. Let there be peace on earth, absolutely.
Well, I wonder if you were at one of the camps that she was a part of. She was a part of a children's camp where in 1955 they first introduced this song, and it was a camp where they brought together children of multi-ethnicity, many different religions, many different socioeconomic situations, and that was the song that they did, and ever since then it's gone all over the world.
It could have been Camp
Yeah,
Innocent.
it could have been.
It very well could
have been.
Yeah.
And I first heard the song at a Catholic charismatic service back when they started using guitars in Catholic churches and Episcopal churches. That seemed radical at the time. And we sang that song. So the idea is, what are we imagining? What are we dreaming of in this current moment unfolding in our species? Are we listening for the eternal moment of truth? Are we listening to the voice of Spirit? Am I listening to the voice of Spirit? Or am I letting my heart be troubled? Am I letting my heart be afraid and therefore listening to another kind of voice? I want to reach for that eternal moment of truth. What shall we let live in us? You've had those eternal moments of truth, I'm sure. I am so grateful to have had some of those moments in my life that I can dial back into, tap back into. I have a visceral awareness of what that eternal moment of truth feels like. So if I am in a place of letting my heart be afraid, I also have the capacity to tap back into the eternal moment of truth. So what shall we let be? I have to make a commitment to my practice to let the highest consciousness live in me. Otherwise, I'm speaking out of a heart that's afraid and a heart that's troubled. And I'm not saying we're bad for letting our hearts be troubled. We are living a human experience. But we have the capacity, everything we need to know is available to us in each moment, so that we can tap in more to this eternal moment of peace. Some of you have heard this story before. It's one of my favorite stories, therefore you're likely to hear it from time to time. And it was about an eternal moment of peace that I felt in the Soviet Union. And we had left Finland the night before. Everything was lovely and bright and sunny and wonderful, and we made our way on the train during the night towards Moscow. And in the early wee hours of the morning, pulling into the train station in Moscow, it was very similar to what you see when you pull in the train station in Washington, D.C. There were homeless people warming themselves at fires in barrels. And it was drizzling rain, and it was gray and overcast and dark, and the guards in the station were standing what looked like scowls at that time, in my interpretation, with their arms folded, and they looked like the enemy that I was taught to be afraid of growing up, the Russians. So pulling into that train station where we had been a very talkative group, Soviet American diplomats for peace, we had been a very lively group. We were so ready to get into the Soviet Union and bring our light, and suddenly I noticed we'd all gone very quiet, packing our bags, debarking the train, and we were very, very solemn as we walked through this train station, looking at the guards, looking at us, nobody saying hello. And I was beginning to wonder, so I'm here to bring peace and light, and I'm feeling afraid. And there was one among us who remembered that we had gone to the Soviet Union to be diplomats for peace. One among us remembered. His name is Michael. His experience this lifetime has included Down syndrome. And at the time, Michael was 21. As we're dragging our luggage way too much, as you know, Americans, we had way too much luggage. Very weighted down with our luggage and our thoughts. When suddenly I heard Michael begin to sing, "God bless America." Well, the guards started laughing first. Then we all started laughing. And I wish I could tell you the sun came out like a Cecil B. DeMille movie. It didn't come out, but I tell you the sun came out. The light came out. The light-heartedness came out. We relaxed. We became trusting again. We became a presence of peace again. It just takes one among us to remember. And the guards walked over to us, and we began to shake hands and talk and practice our Russian, and we lightened up. And perhaps that's a good thing to remember right now, that we can lighten up the atmosphere with our thoughts, our words, our feelings. We can lighten up the atmosphere with what we're believing and what we're letting be. Let there be peace. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. I'm feeling tearful saying those words. God bless our beautiful country. More importantly, each one of us is invited to bless our beautiful country. And I encourage you to ponder the question this week, the same question that came to me from a group of people that I trust very much. They asked me to consider, am I willing, can I be a part of dismantling racism? Can I be a part of dismantling unkindness? Can I be a part of dismantling bullying? Can I be a part of dismantling greed? Can I be a part of dismantling hunger and poverty? And of course the answer is yes. What I'm deepening into is the deeper yes, the expanded yes. Let there be peace, and let it begin with me. We're going to close the service in a little bit with that song. So I invite you to take a deep breath. Know that your presence makes a difference in this world. Your words, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs are part of the helping presence and a part of the eternal moment of letting that eternal moment of peace expand, expand, expand for ourselves, our families, our communities, our global family, our species, our planet. So as the geese are flying overhead, the birds are making their sound here at Salem Road, we sense the eternal moment of peace that lives within us and around us. And we say, so it is, and so we let it be. Namaste. So, I have a few announcements. I know this is why you've all come. This is why you've all tuned in to hear the announcements. Okay. Our social justice dialogue is next Thursday night. It's our last one for this series. So this coming Thursday night, our information for that, the Zoom information is on our Facebook page. We're doing our conversation circles out here at Salem Road on Thursday mornings. Please remember your food donations. We're collecting non-perishable food either at the church, or you can take the food by yourselves to one of these three places, or all three. They need non-perishable food at Help for Kids, at Family Justice Center, and at Helping Hands. A huge call for food, please. Also, we're collecting the Crayola crayons for Waccamaw Elementary School, The Colors of the World. And as always, we want to thank you for your continued ties and donations. It all makes a huge difference, and we so appreciate your support. Your speaker next week, and I'll be here also, here at Salem Road, is Reverend Dr. Rob Fullwood. So we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, we behold the Christ in you, we love you exactly the way you are, and now we're going to sing.